Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, this is going to be a topic here that I'm going to enjoy, right? As you guys know, Rob Parker has been on television since forever. You've seen him on ESPN. He currently works at FS1. He does a great job. He's on one of my favorite, I guess you call it radio shows, although I don't listen to the radio, but I watch the show called The Odd Couple with him and and Chris Broussard, right? Rob Parker actually called me out. He didn't call me out by name, but he was like a video about, who was it, about LeBron, and then but anyway, Rob Parker be doing this thing. But anyway, so what happened? As you guys know, a few days ago, Redick came out there and put out a post, a tweet on his Twitter, and the tweet read, "I grew up in the NBA. The teams I was on, we had plenty of motivational speakers. Some of them I really took a lot from, and a few were very impactful for our team. None of those talks were recorded and then posted to social media. What are we doing? What are we doing now? Is the locker room not sacred anymore?" So that's what Redick said. And when he said that, funny enough, we actually already produced a show around those comments. Fantastic. Now, when he said that, I knew he was referring to Deion Sanders, but because he didn't make it direct, it was kind of ambiguous at the same time. So what happened? Yesterday, I was watching a segment from The Odd Couple, and it seems like Chris Broussard and Rob Parker basically figured out that the person, in fact, he was referring to was Deion Sanders. Now, if you know anything about Rob Parker, Chris Broussard, especially Rob Parker is one of these guys that doesn't hold his tongue. And if he feels a certain way about a certain thing, he'll tell you. He's not going to insult you, but he'll tell you exactly what he thinks. And he's not afraid to call out athletes or whoever it is. But when it came time for Chris Broussard and Rob Parker to react to what Redick had to say, they absolutely went off on him. But before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, Factor Meals. If you're like me or anybody that works at Dreamerspro, chances are you're a very, very busy person, especially during the lunchtime when you don't have time to go to the grocery store, pick out fresh ingredients, and come back home and cook healthy, delicious meals. Sometimes we're so busy that you just end up finding yourself making a ham sandwich or something like that, which isn't really ideal. And this is the reason why we are excited to be partnering with Factor Meals. Factor Meals is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. You can choose from up to 35 gourmet meals. Every meal is packed with premium ingredients, crafted by Factor Meals' team of culinary experts and designed by dietitians to ensure that every meal is packed with premium science-backed nutritional quality. Your meals are delivered directly to your door, and all you need to do is heat them up in just under 2 minutes. Then they are ready for you to eat and enjoy. So for example, this week, I think I'm gonna go with the Italian herb chicken. What I love is that under every single meal, you can see if it's a calorie conscious option. For example, this meal I just chose is the dietitian approved calorie smart meal, which is around 550 calories or less per serving, and also a protein plus meal with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. So if you want to give it a try, click the link in the description below or head over to factormeals.com/dreamers50 and use code dreamers50 to get 50% off. And remember, when you try Factor Meals by using the link in the description below, remember that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is get into what Chris Broussard and Rob Parker had to say, and then we're going to come back and react to their comments. Take a listen to that there.
Yeah, I just think JJ is once again way off from the standpoint of everybody, Chris, runs their locker room differently. It ain't the same. There are some locker rooms and some guys who would say, turn the camera off. We don't want it on. They would.
Yep.
And other guys don't care. When I covered baseball in the 90s, Chris, you were an opposing player, you better not come in our clubhouse. Better not. They would fight you, Chris. They would, and then other clubhouses, they don't care.
Right.
Your buddy come over, dap you up, give you a jersey. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It just, everybody's different. And if the 76ers didn't want it, trust me, it wouldn't have happened. Even though it wasn't the locker room, right? You said it was like it
was in a.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like
lounge or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it was, they would have said, Deion, no, they would have told him up front. No, we don't want this out. We don't want this on video. And everything's on video. This is the same guy, J.J. Redick, Chris. After the Lakers started, 0-5, and they got blown out after a game or something, told us to forget about the season and just salute LeBron all year. Remember that? Hello, JJ.
I forgot about that.
JJ, guess what? The Lakers went to the Western Conference Finals. And you told us to forget about the season after 5 games. Come on, dude. I know you played. I got respect for that. But come on with some of this.
Yeah.
Stop.
And a lot of times, Rob, it might even be like I said, kind of the speaker doesn't want it filmed. But he didn't care in this case. In fact, he wanted it filmed. And so I even think if the players were given the choice, even, they would want to hear Deion even if it's filmed, and also they're getting players are more and more comfortable, of course, in front of the camera nowadays. Everything is filmed. Everything is taped. So I think that's a difference too, Rob. Like these guys are used to that. I'm surprised to hear this from JJ. I really am. Maybe I shouldn't be kind of as you're saying, Rob, but I'm a little surprised that this was a hill he wanted to die on because it really wasn't that big of a deal. And like you said, if the Sixers had really been up in arms about it, they just either don't have Deion or tell him you can't bring the cameras in.
Chris, there wouldn't have been on. I believe that. If the stars on the team say, come on, no video. This is us.
Right.
We don't want nobody else to be in on what we're doing. It's that simple. Takes one guy to object, right? One star to say, nah, let's do this. This is just for us.
So you heard what they had to say there. Now, here are my thoughts on this. First of all, I understand the where JJ is coming from in terms of things now always being made public, but to be honest with you, that's the day and age that we live in. This is the day and age that we live in, and I don't think that is anything new. Number one. Number two, in terms of keeping the locker room sacred, was the locker room ever really sacred? I mean, the sanctity of a locker room comes down to the person in charge of that locker room. Some coaches they don't allow anybody to talk. They don't allow any cameras, and other people do. Now, here's what's interesting. JJ made these comments about the sanctity of a locker room, but about, let me say, 3 weeks prior, there were cameras. There was a game between the Buffaloes and Oregon. And during that game, I believe the head coach of Oregon was Dan Lanning or something like Dan something. I don't follow college football that well, but I remember his name being Dan. And there was this viral clip going around of him basically hyping up his football club before they went to go play Colorado. And in there, they had cameras in the locker room. The coach was being recorded. He was saying that, the Cinderella story ends today. They're playing for clicks. We're playing for W's. All of those different things. The camera was right there. And the coach and the coaching staff was fully aware of it. And they did that to capture the moment. My question is, where was all of this fervor and this indignation when the coach did that? Where were these comments? Deion turns around, does the exact same thing, except it was different because Deion didn't go into a locker room. As a matter of fact, there was no locker room here. What it was a sit down that Deion had with the Philadelphia 76ers, who went to Colorado. Y'all are crazy. The man is in Colorado. Denver, Colorado. The Philadelphia 76ers packed their bags in their suitcases and say, we're going to go to Colorado. Why did they go to Colorado? You must ask, this is the operative question. They went there to simulate what it would be like to face the Denver Nuggets in the in the finals with that altitude and to get a sense of that area. So they went there, and while they're there, remember, Denver is a very, very big place. They go there, I mean, Colorado's a very, very big place. They could have gone to Denver, but they went to Boulder, where he was. They go there, and then they now seek out Deion Sanders to come and speak to the team. It wasn't like as if Deion flew to Philly. They sought him out. And then Deion said, okay, no problem. I'll come and talk to your team. No big issue. However, I want my son to record it because my son, I believe his name is Darius Sanders, has a media company, and this would be great footage for him. They say, no problem. Bring him along. Deion sits down. He starts talking with the team. His son is recording it. He uses it as content, and they publish it on the internet. He benefits his son. The Philadelphia 76ers didn't have an issue with it. No problem. And then here you come talking about the sanctity of locker rooms. What you would have done is you would have added the organizations you were referring to. You would have added Oregon. You would have added the Philadelphia 76ers instead of making it seem ambiguous like you're just talking about anyone. My second issue is if cameras were not allowed into locker rooms, into practices and all of these things, you don't have the last dance. You don't have the last dance. So to all of a sudden now be feeling offended about all of it, it just seems like a bunch of virtue sick. JJ Redick is always mad about something, man. Bro, you're always mad about something. You're always pissed off about something. And it's always some irrelevant nonsense you're always mad about. You're always pissed off. He's always mad, always frowning. What are you frowning for, man? You're always mad about something. At one point, media was something sacred. The only way for you to sit on TV and talk sports, you needed to be a journalist. But now you're on TV talking sports. Did you go to school for journalism? But now here you are, talking sports on television. At one point, that used to be sacred, but now you do it too. Let's stop with all of the go. As Chris Broussard said, go find another hill to go fight about. Go find another hill to put your flag on and fight. This is nothing. This is a nothing story. Like, come on, let's just stop. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show.